Radio, JP, welcome back. I see things are moving on your side. So give us a quick feedback where you are in terms of the stats and what you've done and what you are busy with. We can't wait to get feedback from you.
Hi, Hannes. Yes, thank you. Things has been busy. I had a couple more sales, and to date I'm standing on 21 sales, a total profit of 39,000 Rand and a total cost of 9,968 Rands, and that brings me to a total growth of 877%.
Well, that's fabulous. Did you calculate the growth on your, in other words, your return on investment? Have you done that or not?
Yes, so if we use the 900 or the 373 Rand that I started with, the growth will be 10,189%.
10,189%.
10,189.
89.
Yes.
JP, how many investments do you know of that can give you a 10,189% growth in? It's about 2 months now.
It's 2 months now, yes.
Okay. How many?
No, the only one I know of is online business at the moment.
There are others, by the way. Okay. Fabulous, JP. That is incredible. Remember, what I like about this whole thing is start small, but you think big. And what the thinking is, how can I get my growth up? How can I get my growth up? And the great thing about growth, when you start on return on investment, you're going to find something amazing, because in the beginning, it's actually infinite growth. If you really think about it, you start with basically nothing, and the next moment there's something, and then you take that something. In your case, 4,400, make it 4,500 Rand. And now you start working with that, because now you've got almost like a seed capital. It's nothing out of your pocket. And when you roll it back into the business, this business or investment starts to grow. Now, there's something that very few people get, and I hope that you are getting it. I know that you're getting it simply because you're a method student. But I want to repeat it because we're sharing this with other people as well. In a business, there are two ways that you can look at a business. You can look at a business from a business point of view, where you simply say, okay, this business is to generate income. And you draw all the income out of the business, and that is why the majority of businesses do not grow. The second way to look at a business is to say, but this business is my investment. In other words, you open a bank account and everything that goes into that business, and this is what I hope that you are going to do, because we need to prove results. Okay, is to say everything that's in the business, the only thing that you can take out of the business is if you want to develop yourself, or if it's something to do in order to develop or to grow the business. That's the only thing, because now we're in the formula for riches, and in that formula, that's your container, and your job is to grow that container. So if you've got a container from 4,000 to 39,000 that you've got at the moment, the growth in that container as your investment then is the 877% that you've reflected. But the return on your investment, in other words, the growth that you're going to get, is at this stage 10,189%. Right. But now, if you're going to place a Facebook ad, it's going to take out of that. In other words, the profit is going to drop. And then hopefully because you've got the skill, because that is a new skill that you have to master. Because of that skill, now it's going to start growing. So it's going to have this fluctuation. But at the end of the year, there's something bad that's going to happen, because this business, now we have to pay tax on that business. So at the end of the year, you're going to pay the tax, and that remains after tax. That's actually the true growth in terms of your return on investment for that business. Now, there are three ways. First of all, we grow our income skills, high income skills. Secondly, we start growing the business. This is what you are busy doing now. Because you've got a full-time business, this is the new investment. If that wasn't the case, you had to live out of this 39,000 Rand that you've made. Can you see why it's so crucial in the beginning to think small, to start small, but to think big. In other words, you do not want, most people want to replace their income, and they think they're going to do that in business within the next month or two, or even three. And that is not, you have to learn the skills. Once you've got the skills and you've got $1 million there, then it's easy, because then you know how to grow it, especially if you can do it in a year. Then you can grow it by 100,000. If we talk in terms of rands, you can grow it by 100,000. You live off 50,000. In other words, that's what you draw out of the business. And now the business has got two parts. That is that high income skill that you turn into a business. So you stick with a budget. Let's say it's a 50,000, and the 50,000 that remains in the business, that is your investment in the business. Can you see what I want you to do? Yes. And the process that I want you to go through? In other words, you take this money and everything that's surplus stays within the business. Now, the more you can grow that business without tapping into that business, the better it's going to be. So if you've got a base of 5 million and then you start give up your job, you're going to have 10 times more security than if you want to start it right now. And this is one of the problems that I see with a lot of people. They want to give up their job too quickly because they haven't got the skills. The moment that you haven't got the skill, people buy a business and then they think because they've got the money to buy the business, they've got the skill. It's got nothing to do with that. It's got to do, you have to gain the skills. And once you can prove the skills and you've got enough security, the Mercedes principle that you know of, only then will you say, okay, I am ready now, this can become my full-time job. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it's all within the skills. I need to improve myself and gain the skills and the combination to roll in and make sure that I grow this business and this money and not touch it. But the key point here is the skills. I need to improve my skills.
That's it, because the moment that you've got the skill, the income is there. And this is what people don't get. For a person that knows, and this is why that quantum awakening is so important. For a person that knows how to make $1 million, it's nothing to make $1 million. For a person that has never made $1 million and he makes only 10,000, to him, that is, first of all, that's phenomenal if he can do it. But if he's going to take that 10,000 out of the fund, he'll never learn how to make 20,000. And something that I see that people don't get, even if you can tell them that, if you've got R1 million or $1 million, it's only because you are qualified to handle R1 million or $1 million. That's the way the universe works that way. The skill level, the amount of money that you've got, the net amount of money, that's the amount of money that the universe knows that you can handle. It will never give you more than what you can handle. If you're broke, it's because you've got the skills of a broke person. You haven't got the skills of a millionaire and a multimillionaire. You've got the skills. And people don't get that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to listen to that. They don't want to accept it, because that means that they have to take responsibility. And the moment that you take responsibility for everything that has happened in your life, that is busy happening in your life, and that will happen in your life in the future, because everything happens in the now, which is the right mindset. And this is why I like to work with you, because I could see that you've got the mindset and that you want to learn. All right, and I hope that all my students will have that attitude. And now that we've started with the wealth game, by the way, have you started with the wealth game?
Yes, I have started with are you talking about the new one or the because I've been in the wealth game for quite some time?
The new one, the wealth game challenge.
I haven't started.
Do me a favor and start with that. You're going to pick up a lot of stuff in that course as well. Right, so, and then you can participate there as well. And now, the reason why I want you to do this, JP, is there's a massive, massive opportunity for you, but for all my, actually for everyone that's on the affiliate system. Right. In this wealth game that we've started, there's a place where you can link your affiliate system to the wealth game. And if you then punt the wealth game, because you can invite your friends and you can play against other people, every single person that comes onto you're going to get experience points, you're going to get wealth points to play against them, but at the same time, the return on investment will also start to show. Now, as a method student, I want you to play that game actually in the wealth, in the method there where you're playing it. But I want you to build the points so that you can challenge your friends on the experience points. Now, here's the trick. Any upgrade that will happen will automatically be your affiliate. If you're the first person that refer the person or that challenge the person to play the game with you. Can you see what we've done? Now that game, I've worked from April till now, and it's now in a position where we're in the beta phase, but that is going to, and that is also can be one of the quickest way for you to start building your business. Right, so there may be an opportunity for you to look in. So next time when we speak, or when you're ready and you've set it up, and I'm going to monitor that in any case, because I'll give you the link, and then you'll be my friend, and then I can see what you are doing in that game.
Okay.
Will that be okay?
Perfect. For some reason, I thought this was the same game that the one I was busy with, but clearly I misjudged it, so I'll go have a look and start definitely.
The one is the Wealth Game Challenge, which is actually a light version of the wealth game that you are playing. So the wealth game that you are playing, we track on a day-to-day basis. The cryptocurrencies is in, everything is in there, and you know how to play the game. This is a light version, and literally, JP, what I'm busy doing is I want to use this, and by the way, you'll see that your name is in the ranking there, right? I think you've got about 3 million% growth already. Right, and the reason for that is I want to show people the moment that you've got the knowledge, in other words, the moment that you've invested in yourself, the moment that you're a Wealth Creators Method mentoring student, the knowledge skill that you've got is exponentially higher than a person that is just playing, let's call it a free game, or a person that tries to follow the system and think that they're going to outperform the system by following the system. It's simply not going to work. And that is the reason in this game, by the way, if you haven't followed that, JP, I've said that I will outperform, or my students, or at least 1,000 of my students over a 5-year term, will outperform at least the best fund managers, any fund managers, even in Russia, any fund manager that you can find that is a registered legal fund manager, or that people that is giving advice. We will outperform those funds with at least 1,000% based on return on investment. And you know how simple that is. It's because we've got skills that other people will never ever have in their lives. So I really want you to take that up. Okay, JP, give me a little bit, what have you done so far in terms of since the last time that we spoke? Okay,
so since the last time we spoke, I still had to link my PayPal account with the bank. That was a little bit of a frustrated process, but I learned a lot. I went through the process and I linked the PayPal account, and I also tested with a small amount. So I didn't pay all my money from PayPal to the bank account. I only used $100, and it took a couple of days for the $100 to reflect, but I can see it's reflected on my bank statement. So the channel is open between my PayPal and my FNB account. And then I started.
Can I stop you there quickly?
The last time we spoke, yes.
Okay. What are you going to do with the remainder?
Well, a part of me wants to keep it in dollars because the PayPal account is in dollars. And if you bring it over to your South African account, you have rands. So a part of me wants to do that, but I think I'm going to apply the Mercedes principle, and I'm going to strategically allocate a certain amount that I'm going to use for my business in terms of ads and whatever tools I need to grow this business, and bring that over to my South African bank account.
Okay, you're running into two problems right off the bat. Can you apply, and how can you apply the Mercedes principle to this affiliate system?
So So the Mercedes principle has three pillars, but I want to split it into two. Where, I'm gonna only. So let's say I make $100, for example, then $50 stay in the PayPal account, and the other $50 goes towards advertisements or whatever. But I think I see the problem. I need to use 100% of that available funds to grow my business.
In other words, the Mercedes principle applies with your regular income. The Mercedes principle, the moment that the money is in the container, the moment the money is in this formula, it does not apply anymore, because this money is not your money anymore. It's not your money anymore. It belongs to your future. It belongs to the growth that you want to get. And the function of you become almost like a trustee of that fund, a guardian of that fund, is to make sure that that fund, with everything in you, grow at maximum, right? But remember, the Mercedes principle is applicable on your income. So if you build this business into where you start withdrawing income, then you apply the Mercedes principle again. But as long as this fund is in the growth, this is not your money anymore. Your job is to grow that money. That's the only job. Now, there's only any expense that you incur is for the growth. So if you take money as a Facebook marketing as an example, you need to be damn sure that that is going to give you a better return. That's why we say start small, because if you can't get a growth on 200 rands here in South Africa on a Facebook ad, you will never get a growth if you put in 2 million in that, if you have the money. So, and this is an incredible principle the moment that we understand. Just most people think that if you start throwing money into something, it's going to work. If you can't work it at $100 and $200, right, it's not going to work, right? And that is how we manage the risk. So you test small, and then you start scaling. The moment that it works, you're going to get to the ceiling of complexity. Then you look for another thing. Is that making sense at all?
Okay. Yes, it makes sense.
It's an extremely valuable lesson, JP, and all the students that is listening. This is the reason why people get stuck and they don't get ahead. But you've got another problem. What do you think that is with the PayPal account?
Well, the PayPal account is quite expensive in terms of, because you have to convert from dollars to rand, so they take a portion, and it takes time. So that's the two problems that I can see that I have with the PayPal account. I'm not sure if you can pay Facebook directly with PayPal. It might be an option that I can look at, but the gut feeling I'm getting is you are aware of another problem that I don't see.
Yeah, that's a big problem. We call it the Reserve Bank. In South Africa, there's an arrangement between PayPal and the bank that you have to withdraw, and you have to get that back, the last time that I've checked, within 14 days. So within 14 days that the money lands in bank, it must be reflected in your bank account fully. Okay, go and.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I know you haven't. That's why I thought this is a learning, because people think, okay, I'm going to Jippo the system, right? We play the game within the system, and we have to make sure there are far better ways to. I'm not going to discuss it now in this talk, but there are million times better ways that you can do it. But for now, just take into consideration, and that is why that's skills. So the moment that you get to a certain level, you have to upgrade your skills. The moment that we talk in terms of structure, it's a skill. If you talk in terms of financial structure, it's another skill. If you talk in terms of international structures, it's another skill. But you are going to unfortunately pay for that. I'm not going to give that to you because otherwise you're not going to value that you're about to learn. So there's always either you can learn it by yourself, or if you want to speed up the process, you pay for it. Does that make sense?
Let's speed it up.
Because you pay for the experience. You don't pay for the course or for the information. You pay for, because you're going to pay, and you're going to pay at least 100,000 times more than what you would have paid by simply saying, okay, my mentor, here's the money. What does it cost? Does it make sense?
Most definitely, Hannes.
Okay, just
Most
this
definitely.
thing.
But I don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already invented.
Just this thing that I told you. If the Reserve Bank comes and say, okay, you haven't done what you were supposed to do, then the problems that goes with that is not worth your while to start playing around with tax and with the government and the Reserve Bank and the banking system and stuff like that. Okay.
Great stuff. And luckily it's only, I think there's $800 left. If you can just imagine, let's say, for example, there was $30,000 in there, and I didn't know about this little small one rule.
Do you know
So
that they
I'm glad I
can
know
confiscate that money and simply, or they can freeze that money? Okay, so, and that's why I say start small. If something happens now with $800, that is not a train smash. But if it's $800,000, you've done a launch, there's 800,000, and you say, no, I'm going to, can you imagine what's going to happen? Okay, so keep that in mind. Right, what else, JP? I've interrupted you there.
Okay, so then I started building my landing page or my opt-in page so that I can start getting people to give me their information in exchange for something of value. And I've written a long sales letter.
Okay, can I save you time and effort and maybe money?
Yes, please.
Okay, what's the purpose of the landing page and what's the purpose of the long sales letter?
So the purpose of the landing page is to start building a database and start building my business. And the purpose of the long sales letter is to get people to convert to sales.
Okay, do you have a business where you can convert them to sales? What product or service are you going to give them?
Yes, so I'm gonna the product around my long sales letter is the Property Pro mentoring course. So for a product, yes, I do have a product that I can give them.
Okay, is it your product or is it my product?
It's your product.
Okay, then why do you want to do the long sales letter? Isn't that my job?
True.
Okay, remember the levels, JP, is to get the right information in the right order for the level of the game that I'm at, and then I have to do it. So if you haven't got a product, you're wasting time to... It's great experience, but you're wasting time that you could have focused on the marketing side. Now you're wasting time. Once you're strong enough, and over time you're going to see, but there's a gap, or this is what I can do. I think I've discussed something with you already, and that we can turn. And then you're going to start with the Rainmaker startup business. In other words, the canvas, and then the prototype, and then the product. In the prototype phase, that is when you're going to really start looking at the long sales letter, because that's going to be the motivation for the person that's going to buy. Can you see how quickly we can lose track of the process? Nothing wrong to gain the experience, but it's actually, so far, it's great experience, but it's useless experience, the way that I see it. If you've got a product, it's a total different story. Does it make sense?
No. It makes sense. So if you're an affiliate marketer, you shouldn't see someone else's product as yours.
It's not yours.
You're just the middleman.
Remember, is it possible? Can I make it happen? Do I have control over it? Do you have control over my sales letters? Do you have control over the way that I do the marketing? Do you have control?
No.
You've got no control, and therefore you can't waste your time trying to create control where you can't have control. Does it make sense at all?
Yes, that makes 100% sense, Hannes.
Okay, and that is why you should never, and one of the reasons why I say I want to teach you about affiliate marketing, it's not that you have to punt my products or our products. you can use this information. Everything that you've learned now is not necessarily what we are doing. You can apply it in any affiliate marketing. And these are the things that you should look for in the affiliate marketing. So you must have a look at the affiliate the system, but how can they support you so that you can focus on doing that you're supposed to do, and that is to get people to buy the product. Now, does the same apply to the landing page?
Okay, so with my landing page, I don't have something that I don't have anything from myself that I can give out for free. So what I'm using is the seven laws of a property investor, which is not my product; it's your product. But if I can get the email addresses, I have control over those email addresses, because it's something that they opt into my page, but they got your product. So I have more control, definitely.
Okay, what if I stop and I say you can't use the 7 laws anymore?
Then I create something of value immediately.
Okay.
Of my own.
Right. And you have to have that attitude, because the moment that they say, okay, you can't use this anymore, and that was your thinking, you're going to run into a problem. And I promise you, some of the affiliate systems are going to do exactly that. Right? The moment that they see that you are doing better than what they thought you would be doing, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to take that idea and run with it, because then I don't have to pay you affiliate commission. And I've seen this from this little bit since April that I started looking at affiliates systems. And there are several of these, let's call it, they don't play open cards, but if you know what they do, you can actually see, and I'm talking about ClickBank, people that's on ClickBank. Be very, very careful. You trust, but you verify. You trust, but you verify. You don't just go in and spend a lot of time and effort to develop something, because it takes time to develop it. Right. So that's the one thing. Another reason why you build a database, JP, is if you can add value to that person. If you want to give the 7 laws of a property investor in order to get a database, but you've got nothing to offer the database in order for them to help to sell the product, in other words, the mentoring, for example, of the method, why would you do that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Why, if I don't have anything to offer for them to sell, then why would I do that? That's correct.
That's it. It's the right information, the right order for the level of the game that you're at. You're not at that level of the game where it makes sense to do it, unless we can become creative. And you can say, okay, because from there, they go now to my product or service. I capture the information and whoops, there they go. That's one way of doing it. But what if you can supplement to make sure that they're going to do the webinar, as an example, where you say, okay, after you've done the webinar, come back to me if you've got any question. Then it makes sense to build a database, because now you can start to communicate with them. But if you just get the database because you think you want a database, that database, if you're not adding value within the next week or 2 weeks after you've captured their name, it becomes a dead database. That database means nothing because you did not come back. So you can immediately go back and say, did you book for the webinar? For when did you book? And can I follow up to help you after the webinar? Now you're adding value. Before there's no, if you just want to collect, you can buy 1 million names at the moment for something like $100. For $100, you can build a database of 200,000. It's useless. You're going to waste that money. There's no relationship. In other words, you have to position yourself in such a way that on the landing page, right, you can prove and show people this is what I can. So how can you position this 7 laws of a property investor in such a way that you can add value to the person if they've done what they were supposed to do? Then you build a database. Otherwise, you just refer them.
Yes.
Can I
I need to.
Can I
Sorry,
leave you?
go on.
Can I leave you with this so that becomes almost like your assignment? I want you to think. I had a look at your landing page. In fact, it's open in front. Maybe I can switch over quickly and I can show you won't be able to see it because we're on Skype. But there's a lot of, let's call it, things that you need to focus on. I just want to show the rest. This is basically the way that the landing page that you've built looks like. And fabulous. Did you build it with GrooveFunnels?
No, I built 3 landing pages. First, I went to Facebook. So I said, where's the place where I can get it the easiest? Okay, so I YouTubed some videos and I went to Facebook and I started the opt-in form with them, because people, I think people don't tend to, when they're on Facebook, they'd like to stay on Facebook and not go to a different web browser or different tab. So I opened an opt-in page on Facebook, but then I immediately saw that it will take me 90 days before I can export the email addresses to a third party like Mailchimp. So I did it, but I left it. Then I went over to GrooveFunnels and I started building one with GrooveFunnels as well. But my skills with GrooveFunnels is not there yet. And then I went over to Mailchimp and I found it a lot easier with Mailchimp quickly. So I built this database with Mailchimp, but I built this opt-in page with Mailchimp, but I'm definitely going to go over to GrooveFunnels. There's some things in GrooveFunnels that's not lacquer for me at this stage that I need to figure out. But the quickest, fastest way for me now was Mailchimp.
Okay, so I think sort that out, and then based on what I've got, there's a lot of, I think, value that we can add to the whole group that's within this affiliate marketing story that we are busy with. We've also opened, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, I think Lara only did it yesterday or the day before. We're going to open a Facebook community. We call it Elite Wealth Creators Affiliate Marketers. Those are all the people that's at least bought from startup to income, or the method students. We've set up a community only for those people, and I'm going to start sharing this in that community as well, not only on YouTube anymore, but in the community, because I think that we can add a lot of value in the community by doing it this way, if you are up for it.
Yes, definitely. I joined the Facebook group and I already started having a look at Lara's videos. GrooveFunnels, like I said, honest, GrooveFunnels is the great thing, but I can design a brilliant template, but for some reason I'm struggling to link GrooveFunnels with Mailchimp, and I see that the Groove Mail, the autoresponder, is not working yet. So that's why I moved over to Mailchimp.
It's very easy. Once you see how simple it is to with Aweber or Mailchimp, we've linked with Mailchimp. It's one of those things. If you know it, it's easy. If you don't know it, it's a skill. Can you everything that you don't know means that you have to master a little skill, and maybe we can. GrooveFunnels actually explain that process. That's where I picked it up. Okay, so GrooveFunnels has got excellent training videos, and you can nowadays they've got a functionality where you can search all their videos, right? All their videos, and you say link with Mailchimp, and then all the videos where that word is in is going to bring it up, and I promise you it's going to take you less than 5 minutes to learn how simple that is. Of course, if you've got a Mailchimp account already, you've got a Mailchimp, because this thing is running in Mailchimp.
Yes.
So if you've got that Mailchimp account, it's within, I guarantee you, within 5 minutes you'll know how to do it. It's so simple, but the thing is, if you don't know, it's impossible. Right? Okay.
I've watched a couple of videos, Hannes, and I know how to do it, but for some reason when I publish, it's not working, it's not linking, but it's something that I'll have to go and figure out. and see what's happening. Technology sometimes is strange.
Just be careful. What I've seen is that they need to upgrade or upload their system. So it will not always reflect within a 2 or a 5 minute. Right. So just give it a little bit more time before you validate. Right. I've seen, especially if you post a page and you update that page and you want to, it's going to give you an error. But it's not. It's simply their system needs to upgrade and then post it. So there's a delay there. Just check that out before you say it's not working. Okay, because once it works, it works. Okay, right. So JP, I am really 877%. I think what you can do, JP, is to start with Facebook. You've got 1 or 2 nice things. Start just to keep that ball rolling. Don't make it all the money. Take it like on an ad. Try the 2 ads that you've got at the moment, the 2 videos on the property side, and even maybe on the affiliate side, and try them slowly, 100 Rand per day, just to see which one in a week's time will perform best, and track that to see. Forget about the landing pages at this point. Start generating the money. Okay, if the money comes there, the rest will follow. Making sense?
That makes sense. Thank you, Hannes. So I'm going to put my focus now on to type or create an ad. So the same that I've already done, just on the wording side, see what can I improve, and then I'm going to start running 2 ads or 3 ads, and I'm going to keep track of the clicks and the views and all that, and see, even if sales comes through, then I'm going to track which one best, and then I assume we will improvise on that and see which one we're going to use.
Absolutely. That's how you grow. You start small and you think big. What I want you to do, remember to go and register the Wealth Game, and then link your link to the Wealth Game, because that's a full-blown marketing channel that we've opened up for you guys that can help you immensely. Okay, so I will strongly suggest that you do that. Then let's give it till 4 or 5 days, and then come back to me so that I can have a look at your ads. Because remember that long sales, that 32 steps, the long sales letter, you actually have to condense that into an ad with the 5 points that Lara gave you. So if you can get that right, and with Facebook you need to evoke curiosity. So they need to say, okay, but how is it possible in order to move on to the next phase, which will be, okay, at this stage, unless you want to take them to the landing page, to your opt-in page, or we call this a bridge page. In other words, Facebook don't like you to use affiliate links. You're only lucky that they don't pick it up, but you have to get a bridge page to take them to the product. So at the moment it's working for you. The moment that you see it's not working, then come back to me so that I can show you what that bridge page, this that you've got is a bridge page, but it's not going to work for what we've got in mind. Okay, so to bridge them from Facebook to your affiliate system, at the moment it's working for you, and we're going to use it, but they can block you very, very quickly. Okay? Did you learn something? Learning something?
Yes, definitely. I'm learning a lot. Thank you.
Okay, then we see each other as soon as you're ready. Ciao.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Hannes.